That wild spin at the end is not drying your clothes. It is a centrifuge, flinging water out at hundreds of G, harder than a rocket launch. Let's open the door and see how the whole wash, rinse, and spin dance actually cleans. You know that moment when you pull laundry from the washer and it feels much lighter after the final spin? It is not warm. No heat was used. That light feel is water that got thrown out by speed, not boiled away by heat. Spin is simple physics. The drum goes fast. Water cannot hold on. It shoots through tiny holes in the metal. Your clothes press into a ring against the wall. The water escapes through those 2 to 3 millimeter holes and collects outside the drum. Modern front loaders often reach 1,200 to 1,600 revolutions per minute. At those speeds, the fabric ring can feel hundreds of times gravity. That is why the bundle feels light when you lift it out. So what is the real job of laundry? Dirt is not sitting on top like dust on a shelf. It hides inside twisted threads. It is stuck there by oils from skin, by food, and by minerals in water. The machine has to unstick that dirt without shredding the cloth. It also has to do it with little water and little energy. That is a tough brief for any machine in your house. There are 4 levers it can pull to get things clean. Chemistry makes water better at wetting and lifting. Mechanical action moves and scrubs the fabric. Temperature gives an extra push. Time lets the other 3 work. We will keep coming back to those 4 levers. A chemist named Herbert Sinner put that idea into words back in 1959. People now call it Sinner's Circle. It says cleaning is a balance of chemistry, mechanical action, temperature, and time. If you lower one lever, you raise another. If you wash in cooler water, you can add better chemistry or more motion or more time. Modern machines and detergents aim to juggle that for you. Quick note while we are in the neighborhood. If you like crisp breakdowns of the machines in your life, subscribe to Buildguts. We open up one system each week with clear, simple steps. Let's step into the wash bath. The hero chemical is the surfactant. That is a soap-like molecule that lowers water's surface tension. Plain water beads up. With surfactants, it spreads and soaks in. Modern detergents mostly use a type called LAS, which stands for linear alkyl benzene sulfonate. It replaced older soap that did not break down well in nature. Once surfactants are in the water, they form tiny clusters that can grab oil. Picture small bubbles around a droplet of grease. Those clusters carry the oil away from the fibers and keep it floating in the water. Next, we need builders. Hard water has calcium and magnesium ions. Those little minerals grab surfactants and make them less effective. Builders tie up those ions so the surfactants can keep working. Common builders today include zeolite A, which is a mineral powder, and sodium citrate, which is related to the acid in citrus. If your water is hard, even 100 to 200 parts per million, builders matter a lot. Without them, clothes can feel stiff and look dull after many washes. With them, the water feels softer and the clean is better. Enzymes are the quiet superpower. They are tiny protein helpers that snip stains apart. Protease cuts up protein stains like milk or blood. Amylase breaks starch. Lipase clips fats. Cellulase smooths fuzz on cotton. These let you clean well at low temperatures, even around 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. The wash bath is also a bit alkaline. That means it is on the basic side, like a baking soda solution. The pH is often around 9 to 10.5. This helps fibers swell a little, which lets water and chemistry get inside. It also helps the surfactants and enzymes do their jobs. Now for the scrubbing. In a front loader, the drum turns slowly. Clothes lift up, then fall. That fall bends the fabric and rubs thread on thread. That motion is the real scrub. A top loader uses an agitator, or an impeller. The parts in the center push water and cloth in different directions. That creates sliding and stretching in the threads. Same goal. Make the fibers move against each other so dirt lets go. Soaking alone does not do much. You need movement. Movement frees the dirt so the water can carry it away. Water is the conveyor belt. Chemistry makes things slippery. Motion is the shove. More suds does not mean more clean. Too much foam acts like a cushion. It keeps fabric from rubbing on fabric. Rinse matters. Rinses dilute the wash water, so the little oil clusters and loose dirt get carried out. Fresh water in, dirty water out. Each rinse step pushes more soil away from the fibers. Detergents also add helpers that keep dirt from coming back. One example is carboxymethylcellulose. That is a mouthful. It is a plant-based polymer that keeps soil floating in the water so it does not land back on cotton. Less foam helps here too. The rinse water can flow cleanly through the fabric. Now for the fun part. The spin cycle is a centrifuge. At about 1,400 revolutions per minute and a drum radius of around 18 centimeters, the fabric ring feels roughly 300 to 400 G. That is 3 to 400 times gravity. For scale, astronauts on a shuttle launch felt about 3 G. Fighter pilots can pull about 9 G in a turn. Your genes do not complain, but they see way more force than that on every fast spin. What happens under that force? Water cannot stay in the cloth. It moves outward and jets through the 2 to 3 millimeter holes in the steel drum. Outside the drum, there is a second tub that catches the water. A small pump, often moving around 15 to 20 liters per minute, pushes that water out to the drain. How does the machine survive that violence in your laundry room? First, it senses when the load is out of balance. If the wet mass is bunched on one side, it will gently tumble and spread it before ramping speed. Second, the inner tub hangs on springs with dampers. Heavy counterweights help steady it. These parts keep the shaking inside the cabinet and off your floor. Third, it does not jump to max speed right away. It climbs in steps. Each step squeezes more water out and protects the parts. Even the hole pattern in the drum is tuned. The holes are big enough for water to escape fast, but small and smooth enough to protect fabric from snagging. Here is why that extra spin matters for your energy bill. Boiling water into vapor takes a lot of energy. The phase change alone takes about 0.63 kilowatt hours for each kilogram of water. Dryers use even more than that because they waste heat. If the washer can throw out 1 kilogram of water by spinning, the dryer does not have to evaporate it. That saves real energy. Dropping the leftover moisture by even 10 to 15% can save roughly 1 to 2 kilowatt hours for a load. You can see this in residual moisture numbers. After a mid-speed spin, say 800 to 1,000 revolutions per minute, many loads sit around 60 to 70% moisture relative to dry weight. After a fast spin, say 1,400 to 1,600, they can drop to about 45 to 55%. Fabric and balance change the result, but the trend is clear. Temperature is a lever, not a rule. For everyday dirt, modern detergents with enzymes work well in cool or warm water, around 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. That saves most of the energy in a wash. Use 60 degrees for hygiene needs, like certain towels or bedding, or when local health advice says so. Hotter is not always better. Heat can set protein stains and fade dyes. Check labels and pre-treat smartly. Water hardness and dose matter. In a home with 200 parts per million hardness, a detergent without builders can leave clothes stiff and dull. With softer water, you can often use less detergent and still get a clean rinse. Use a high-efficiency, low-suds formula and dose as directed. Too much soap makes foam, blocks motion, and can leave a film that grabs odors. More is not better here. Worried about microfibers. Shedding is driven more by the fabric type and the agitation than by spin speed. A laundry bag or a filter can catch a lot of fibers and keep them out of the drain. One note on chemistry rules. Many places restricted phosphate builders decades ago. That is why you see zeolite A and citrate in modern formulas. They do the ion-grabbing job without the phosphate issues. A little history to close the loop. In 1937, the Bendix home laundry brought a perforated drum into homes. It could spin water out safely. No more dangerous ringers. That was the birth of the modern spin cycle. On the big end, hospital laundries run tunnel washers. Linen moves through zones of chemistry and water in a long drum. Then a separate extractor squeezes at 800 to 1000 G before any heat. Industry always tries to throw water away first. So here's the new way to see your washer. It is a small machine shop for cloth. Precise chemistry to unlock dirt. Controlled motion to scrub it free. Then a high G extractor to throw the water out before heat ever shows up. If this clicked for you, stick around. We open up engines, chips, bridges, power, and the machines in your house with the same plain steps. Subscribe and drop a like if you enjoyed this one. There are more clear breakdowns waiting on the channel. See you next time.